Hello, Scary Dolls.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Mandy.
I'm Ashley.
And I'm Caro.
And you're listening to Scary Not Scary Podcast.
Yay.
Ew.
Yay.
Yay. That yay sounded like it hurt.
We had a long ass week.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
We couldn't go nowhere. We were snowed in.
People called it the snowpocalypse.
Yeah. Oh, Snowvid. I called it Snowvid-19.
My cousin, she makes and sells like cups and shirts and stuff, and she posted on her Snapchat that she made a little cup that said, I survived Snowvid 2021.
Oh my God. I want one.
I just want one normal month. Just one.
There's no such thing as
There isn't
a
anymore.
normal month or a normal year. Like, we're in February, and like Texas of all states got snowed in.
I know, which
Well,
is
like,
so
who
random.
Well, I know there's like some cities and like little towns in Texas that get snowed in, but San Antonio,
Like it never snows here.
Like
Never.
deep South Texas got snowed in. Laredo, Texas got snowed in. Like,
You guys, I fought with so many people online. Like, I would get on TikTok and I would see them making videos about Texas crying over snow, and I'm like, we're not crying over snow. We don't have light or water, or like I was just going off on all these people.
You know, like, and somebody else, they were like, oh, Texas is so ghetto because their houses can't hold up the snow. Okay, we are not built to be snowed in. Okay,
It's hot usually.
We deal with 115-degree sunny, like, summers, like, you know,
Humid.
what I mean? Like humidity and
Yes.
like just hot piercing sun that you can pretty much go outside and like boil an egg,
Yeah.
Yeah.
sunny
No,
side up
really.
egg on the sidewalk.
And then I started fighting with people from California that were like, oh, California is better. And I'm
California.
like, weren't you just on fire?
oh my God, Texas and California were
Weren't you
fighting
just on
so
fire?
bad on
Yeah.
TikTok. Like, I was sitting there with my popcorn, like, holy shit, everybody's fighting. It was like Texas versus California.
Yeah.
And I messaged my aunt who's from California, and I was like, hello, why are you fighting with us? But no, she's like a big, like, San Antonio Spurs, Texas. Like, Texas is her home, and she's
Yeah.
like, don't fuck with my family. Like,
No, I know.
That's
I have family in
crazy.
California too, but I didn't talk to them. I was mad at them.
I'm mad at you.
I'm
Don't
mad
talk
at
to
you
me.
just because you live in California. But
Ugh.
Somebody
I was
was like-
fighting with everybody, dude.
somebody was like, I hope California breaks off from the U.S. except for all the hot celebrities.
Except for all the hot celebrities.
But,
oh my gosh.
I mean, like, everybody was just fighting, but I don't know, everybody. I mean,
It was
was
a strange week.
it was
a very
random.
strange week.
No, I've never said this because I've
No
never
hate
had
on
a,
California,
like a,
though. Just saying.
I
like-
never had like a job that I liked, but I actually missed going to work this past
No, I
week.
didn't.
You did.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be at
No,
work.
I miss driving to my parents' house.
Oh yeah.
Like, just leaving, like,
She
getting
said,
out.
I miss going to do hood rat shit with my friends.
I miss doing hot girl shit.
I can't talk right now. I'm doing hot girl shit.
Yeah.
It's like it makes it worse, right? Like when you know you're not allowed to go anywhere, you're just like, damn it.
Yeah,
wanna
like I
go
went to
places.
So
H-E-B to go
boring.
grocery shopping, and like I was like, should I go right now? And Tim's like, no, don't go out. I'm gonna go. We need this, we need that. And like I would leave, and then I would tell my mom like, hey, like I'm at H-E-B, blah blah, and like I'll text her, and then she's calling me, why are you at H-E-B? And my dad, why are you driving out in this weather? I'm like, it's not even like it's down the street. But I need to get out.
I just need to get out of the house.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah,
Oh,
people
man.
are being mean online.
Guys, we have to be kind to one another.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even though I fight with y'all.
It was just more about like, I don't know,
It's
like-
just emotional because people were really dying out here.
yeah, it was hard. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't really watch the news that whole week because they were like, I feel like they were covering all of the horrible stuff that was happening, but they weren't covering all the great stuff that was happening. Like, there's people that opened up their homes for their neighbors. There was an H-E-B here in San Antonio when people were shopping. Their electricity, everything went out, and they were allowing the customers to leave with their baskets full of food for free.
Go H-E-B.
We have a friend,
Dude,
me and
yes.
Ashley have a mutual friend, Dusty. She said that in her neighborhood there was an apartment complex that burned down, and the fire department couldn't put out the fire because they didn't have water, and there was a Marriott down the street that opened up all their rooms to all the residents that lost their homes at that apartment complex. So
Yeah.
like there's so many good
Good stuff.
things, and like the good things that happen in this horrible week, and it really brought out the humanity, but the news doesn't cover that.
No,
of course not.
They cover all the horrible stuff.
They cover the stuff that gets stories.
They also cover Ted Cruz in Cancun.
Yeah, they covered that too.
Oh God.
But I mean, just shout out to everybody, especially here in San Antonio, that helped one another out.
Yeah,
shout out to
real.
HEB.
Yes,
Oh my
HEB.
My dad. Shout out to my
hero.
dad. Like, my dad is one of the partners at HEB. He is in charge of the warehouses. And like my mom said, like every day he was in the meeting, they were trying to figure out like how to get all the essentials out to people, even during the snowstorm. Like, I see my dad, like how hard he works and how hard those warehouses work and how hard those truck drivers work. Like, just everybody that's a part of HEB. Thank you.
Should make
Shout
him a
out
cake.
to HEB.
HEB.
We're gonna make your dad a
No
cake.
store does more.
Here,
That's their
everything
logo,
is
right?
better.
I love HEB.
For real
y'all.
though, like HEB's always there. Like,
They
it's-
are.
There was one HEB
Like-
that was giving out their what is it, flower bouquets to
And it's
people when they
not
were walking
even,
out
like-
to make them feel better.
Yeah, and it's not even like just
Stop.
Texas or San Antonio. Guys, you understand, my dad's a part of the emergency team. Like, when Hurricane Katrina happened, like my dad went over there to help them out with Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Harvey. He was out in Corpus during the hurricane, like to make sure they got waters out to people. Like, some teams went out to California to give out waters when they had, you know, their fires and stuff. Like, they are involved with the whole entire US. So it's not just here in Texas.
That's why HEB's the best.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna cry. I love us.
Thank you for coming to our TED Talk.
No, we don't talk about Ted no more.
Talk
I'm just
about
kidding.
I did see a meme though this morning that was hilarious, where it was like, look at San Antonio or Texas being all beautiful when it didn't just try to kill us 3 days ago.
We were talking about that when we picked up our boba tea.
Oh yes, guys, we are drinking boba
yeah,
tea.
we got our boba tea.
It's
We have to get
delicious.
it.
I tried it for the first time and I love it.
We popped her boba tea cherry.
Guys, I love it. We needed to fuel up, so we went and got boba tea.
There's a local cafe called Alien Cafe on Babcock, and they are amazing. They're super cute there.
I want to
So,
go
Go
to the
visit
actual-
them. But yeah,
We had a long week. Sorry, guys.
I saw
We
you getting
rambled.
emotional.
I know.
I was like,
gonna
let me
cry.
not look at you.
No, it's just it was a lot. But
Yeah.
like all my nieces and my nephews, they came over and their boyfriends, and we all stayed in my room and in the living room. So we all like cuddled up all week. So
I just hope everything
was
goes
good.
back to normal. Hope everybody has water and electricity and,
and essentials like milk, eggs.
everything. Yeah, I think my dad said within the next week, like everything will go back to normal again.
The only thing that annoys me is people panic buy.
Yes.
Your kid doesn't need 10 bags of hot Cheetos. I do.
Yes, I do.
Say some for me. Jeez. We
10
went
bags
to
of
the Family Dollar and I was like, okay, we're just gonna get some essentials, some chips. I told my niece, and we get there and they only have the fake chips, like the dollar store chips left. And I was like, you motherfuckers.
like this.
Give me my
No.
hot Cheetos. I don't want
Yeah, I know
Flamings.
the other day
Flamings.
I went to HEB, like everything was out. Like they took even all the nasty chips. They took everything. Like the whole aisle was just like gone. And then I went to the frozen aisle because I was gonna get some frozen pizza because you know Sabrina pizza.
Yeah.
No, all they had left was like the Earth Planet pizza.
The cauliflower pizza?
Yes,
They're
just
like,
the
oh, I don't
cauliflower
want that.
pizza and like the Earth-based pizza. I was like, I don't want that shit. But that was the only thing that was there. I was like, I'm not spending $15 on that.
Mm-mm.
No, thank you. And then they
No,
had announced that
thanks.
they had water, packs of water to give out. And I was like, oh, let me go stand in the line because we need water. And then the guy goes, yeah, those are like $12 a thing. I was like, because it was like the expensive branded water. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to spend $12 on like 8 things of water.
Like, hell
I'm
no.
good.
No, thank you.
People are
Yeah.
crazy.
It was
guys.
just insane. But I'm
But
glad that's over with.
We're getting back to it.
Yes. And if we have any listeners in California, we love you guys. It's just the people on the internet that are being really ugly and mean and like
And I fight
not
back.
understanding.
I'm just saying, I fight back.
I had to get off TikTok because it was too much for me.
Yeah.
I was getting mad. And
I will defend Texas until I die. Like, I'm sorry. That's just
somebody
me.
was like, that's what they get for voting for you know who. And I was like, oh God.
Here we go
I-
again.
Ugh. Let's not get into that. Anyways,
everyone brings politics into everything. It's annoying.
Somebody was like, it's Joe Biden's fault why Texas is snowed in. And somebody was like, yeah, if Trump was president, he would have done something about it. And then somebody else posted, what was he gonna do? Put an igloo or put a dome over Texas?
Put a dome over
the Dimmadome.
It's just like there's some stuff on there that was funny, but Jesus.
Yeah.
But I'm glad everybody's okay.
We love you guys. Oh, my voice cracked.
Love you guys. We really do love you guys.
All right.
All of our listeners from all the states, even in California, we love you. Thank you for listening. And thank you for listening to us ramble.
Yeah, thanks.
And now
We just needed to get that off our chestises.
It's been a long week.
Yes, it has.
And one more thing. Ashley's going to pop out the baby any day.
Yeah.
Everyone's
I can
giving
feel
birth. Everyone's
She
giving
feels
birth.
it in her butt.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God.
So this week we are going to be talking about me.
Stalkers.
Ooh. Dun, dun, dun.
I personally stalked Gato. Just kidding.
I
She
knew it.
did. She stalked me from the very first time our schools merged.
You're such a liar. You did. You didn't even know me and you were calling my name for one of our friends.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you're right. I stalked you.
I was walking in the cafeteria and I just hear, Mandy! And I was like, I didn't even recognize your voice. I just turned around like, what the
And then I turned around. I was just calling her because one of my friends knew her from when they were little. And she's like, I think that girl's name is Miranda, but I don't want to shout out. And I was like, Mandy! I had no shame.
And then I was like, hey, how's it going? And we were talking. She goes, this is Gato. And you're like, yeah, I called your name. I was like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. And then at cheer practice, there she is in the studio. And I was like, oh, hey. That's how we became friends.
That's how it all started.
And
Anyway,
there's all history from there.
we always talk about our cheer days.
And then Ashley stalked me and forced me to join drama.
Yes.
The drama
did.
team. Y'all don't need no more drama.
And then Tim stalked me to marry him. And I gave in. I married my stalker.
We all
Just
stalk
kidding.
each other.
I'm just kidding.
We all did some form of stalking.
Mhm.
I think we all did.
We've all done it, like on
Facebook.
yeah,
Yeah.
but not to the extreme of some of these people that we're about to
No.
talk about.
Yeah, so we are
Dun.
going to be talking about stalkers, and we all each research certain stalker stories, and a lot of these are disturbing.
Very.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very it's scary.
It is scary.
It makes me just like want to stay home and not go anywhere.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go first. I got this one actually off of Reddit, and this is a very true story. This victim is actually thinking about writing a book about her story, and this happened back in 1979 till 1978. So this was way before like the stalking laws were even established. So I can only imagine like how things were. Like this was just one victim who told her story. I can't even imagine like how many other people back then were being stalked like this.
Yeah.
But basically, she said before her 10th birthday, she walked to the corner store with a $5 bill to pick up a jar of ragu for her mom at the little store that was down the street. So she said on her way home that this man came up to her that she's never seen, stepped in front of her, and he said, hi, very cheerfully. And he said, my name is Dr. Ramsey. I'm a pediatrician. Do you know what a pediatrician is? And she said that she just kind of like kept walking home, but she was like very quiet. And she said that as she was writing the post to Reddit, that she was like, she said it was almost like it happened yesterday that, you know, this whole ordeal happened. And she said that he just kept talking to her and like trying to make conversation. And she said that he was a tall man. He was he was like in a suit, and he just kept chattering to her, like just trying to make conversation with her. But she said that she was just very quiet. And he continued to tell her, are your parents looking for a pediatrician for you? Of course, you're a big girl now. You'll be needing another kind of doctor soon, won't you?
Oh,
And he
what the
said,
heck?
that's okay though. They can still bring you to me until then. What's your name? You have beautiful hair. I was just on my way to get some suckers from the candy jar in my office. Do you like suckers? So she said, thankfully, like they were already nearing her house. And she said the whole time she just felt super uncomfortable. And like, it was almost like her spidey senses were tingling, like she knew something was wrong. So she said when they got to her house, like near her house, she just took off and ran to her house, went up the steps and like went through the kitchen door and was just like looking like outside the window. And then he took off and left. And she said that not long after that, supposedly Dr. Ramsey, who he says he is, began just showing up to her house, driving by her house, waving at her whenever she was playing outside, like every corner, like everywhere she turned or anytime she looked outside, like she saw him there. And then she said the phone calls began. How he got their number, I don't fucking know, but he got their number. He got the house number. And she said that one day her dad called her into the living room and was like very serious. And he asked about the day. And he asked about the day she met Dr. Ramsey. And she told him the story again. And he was like, are you sure you didn't say anything to him? Like, did you tell him your name? She goes, no, he asked me for my name, but I didn't say anything. But before that conversation with her dad, she was telling her mom, Mom, I keep seeing this doctor pass by the house. Like, it's weird. And her mom kind of blew it off and was like, no, maybe he's just going to work. Maybe we're at the route to work. And she felt like, no, something's wrong. So then her dad came up to her and had this conversation, was questioning her about the day she met him. And so she tells him the conversation and she's like, no, like he was talking to me, asking me questions, but I wasn't really saying anything back. And he said, specifically, did you tell him your name? And she goes, no, like I never told him my name. And he goes, because he knows your name. And she's like, I don't understand how he knows my name. Like, no, I didn't tell him my name. Like he just started talking to me, blah, blah, blah. So then it turns out that he knew everything. He knew her sister's name. He knew the brother's name. He knew the parents, the phone number, where they live, where she went to school, where the parents were, where her older brother went to school. When the parents were out of town, knew her whole schedule, everything. So she said her whole world like turned upside down after that. So when things got super complicated, they called the police, and she said the stalking laws were obviously not in place back then. So there wasn't a lot that the police could do. So they basically said, well, if he tries anything, go ahead and give us a call.
Okay.
Can you imagine? Like,
wait, how old is she?
She's 10 years old.
10
years old.
And they're not going to.
And they pretty much said, yeah, well, if he tries anything, give us a call. But right now, there's nothing we can do. There's not much we can go on.
So she's 10.
Yeah. So she said that same day that her dad called a close friend of his, and he happened to be a cop in a different county. And so his friend took it upon himself to like help them out. The friend went with the parents to the school to inform the school, like, hey, this is what's going on. My daughter has a stalker. He goes by the name Dr. Ramsey. Like, if anybody tries to check her out, whatever, like, don't do anything. You need to call and check with me and my wife first. Like, she does not leave the school unless it's with me, my wife, or one of her older brothers. So she said that everything for her went to the halt. She said the next month, her dad's friend, who was a cop, escorted her to and from school. And she said that life as she knew it was just like turned upside down. She said she couldn't walk to school alone. She couldn't play outside. She couldn't play outside at school or at her house. She couldn't walk to the Super America, which she said it's like a 7-Eleven. But it's like a 7-Eleven for those who don't know.
Thanks, girl.
She said that she was like completely denied things like to do as a kid. And she said that things escalated from there. She said this was around the time he began threatening her sister. So she said one afternoon that her sister and two of her brothers, her mom, went to the kitchen, and one of the older brothers saw a glimpse of somebody inside their garage. And turned out to be that guy, supposedly Dr. Ramsey, who bolted out of the garage, and like her older brother went chasing after him. And she said that they ran all the way down to Sherry Oak Park, where they lost him in some trees that were over there. She said the parents called the cops again. Nothing came of it. The only information they were able to give was the description of the man. And they said that, well, obviously the name's fake and we can't really go off of anything with the description. So just call us back if anything else happens.
Oh my God.
Like, this is the second time, yo.
This is where it gets really sad. So she said a couple of weeks later, they woke up to find their dog hanging from the side porch.
No.
And she said that she was a super gorgeous saddleback German Shepherd who was born on the same day she was. So she grew up with this dog, and this dog was a huge part of the family. So she said, obviously, like, they were all devastated, and they knew it had to be him because whenever the dog started barking, they knew somebody was around. Like, regardless whether it was that guy, Dr. Ramsey, or not, like, it kind of alerted them. So they called the cops. The cops said there was no evidence that it was actually him. They ruled it an accident. Of course, the family didn't believe that. But once again, the cops didn't do anything.
An accident.
Yes. So then she said that his phone calls became more informative. In the meantime, he would talk about who was home, who wasn't home. If her brother would say that their dad was home, he would tell them, no, really, who's really in the house, because he was outside watching them. So he was stalking them 24/7. So he saw who left and who went inside the home. And when he was talking to the brother, he said that, oh, you see this window right here by the kitchen? I can easily open it with the knife from the outside, even if it was locked. And how about those French doors that connect to the living room to the side porch? I could unlock that. I could fidget it a little bit and just jiggle it and be right outside. So she said at night that her dad would put some carpenter nails at the bottom of the French doors until he can get new locks ordered for the doors. And he said that he bolted all the windows shut because he didn't want this man to get inside. And obviously, like, the cops weren't doing anything to help them. So he was taking matters into his own hands. So he said that, she said that her parents had to go to company events, and these were like mandatory events that they had to go to. So this one time that their parents went to a company event, her older brothers were at the Saints roller skating ring, and it was her and her sister who was home. And she said that her sister was talking on the phone with her best friend. Her little brother was asleep on the floor in the living room, and then she said that she was watching some midnight special on TV. And she said it was super late. And she said suddenly the top of the French doors swung inward. And like from the outside of the house. And she said they swung inward. And she jumped up halfway. And she said that she saw like a silhouette of somebody. And she said that she watched from the window for a while and didn't see anything. And then she saw him standing there. So she said that her sister screamed, she ran up the stairs, and she was starting to run up the stairs, and they were halfway up the stairs when they realized that their little brother was still asleep in the living room. So they had to sneak down the stairs, like army crawl on the floor, grab the little brother. Then they had to go hide in like a linen closet. And then he started knocking on the door like super loudly. So then his sister screamed like, "What do you want?" And he said, "This is Mercy is this the Mercy residence? I have a pizza delivery for you." Oh, and the sister was like, "Obviously we didn't order pizza." And she goes, "What do you think? I'm stupid? Like, we're going to call the cops." So he said, "Can you just come to the door? I have pizza for you. You ordered pizza." Like, still pretending to be a pizza delivery guy. So she said, like, the sister was like, yeah, well, no, we're not stupid. Like, we're going to call the cops. So the sister called the cops. And of course, when he heard her calling the cops, he took off and left. Obviously, nothing came of it. They took down the report, and that's it. She said a short while time later, she said that her brothers returned home. They told them everything that happened. But first of all, if something like this was happening to my siblings, I would not leave to the skating rink.
No.
I would not leave my little sisters home alone.
I wouldn't either.
Like,
no.
I wouldn't.
If I was going, I would take her with me.
I would have taken her with me.
Yeah.
But,
like, what? You know
what I was thinking? Like, the parents are out of town. They're like, we're going to go with their friends. Maybe they weren't really taking it as serious. I don't know.
Not.
She doesn't mention how old they are either. So I'm assuming they're like in high school.
Yeah.
So she said when her brothers returned home, they told everything that happened. They told the brothers everything that happened. So of course the brothers flipped out. One of the brothers went to the front yard and they were looking around because even when he leaves, they know he's still around watching. So she said that they're all like didn't know what to do. So they had a kitchen knife and they were like keeping watch in the house. So like they were taking shifts throughout the night, keeping watch, like making sure he wasn't getting inside. So she said on one of her brothers' watch that he actually went into the kitchen to get a bowl of cereal as a snack. And she said that he had a sensation like if he knew somebody was like he felt somebody watching him. and he couldn't shake it off. So he said he kept looking around like down the hallway. He kept looking through the windows, but he said that he can still feel like somebody had eyes on him. So he said that he looked through the window and he couldn't see anything. And he said that he got closer to the window until he saw his own reflection. And then he cuffed his hands like over his eyes and like peeked in the window, and he just saw like his Dr. Ramsey's face staring back at him and just smiling at him. Oh. So he said that he like screamed for his older brother. And him and his older brother went back out again to look for him so they could pretty much, beat the shit out of him, but he took off and left.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's creepy. Nope.
Yeah. So he said the next night they were up playing, and mind you, the parents are still out of town.
Good.
So the next night they were playing Crazy Eights, and she said that her sister asked the older brother, like, what's wrong? Because he was like super fidgety and looking around, and he goes, I just feel like any moment we're gonna hear like a knock on the door or something happening. He's like, and I just want this to be over with. And so sure enough, seconds later, boom, 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 there's somebody knocking on the door. No, not at the door. Something knocking at the window right behind him. So he was standing there listening to their conversation.
My God.
So her two older brothers, once again, ran outside to grab him, but he was gone. Like,
what? Why wouldn't they their like cop friend? Like, why wouldn't their cop friend be there? Like,
I mean, if he works at another county, I'm pretty sure like there's so much he can do.
It's not his jurisdiction, or what do they say?
Jurisdiction.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So she said a couple of weeks later, she was at school and they were outside playing during recess, and she was swinging upside down on like the monkey bars, and she said that she noticed a very familiar blue Ford Galaxy cruising around and moving very slowly. So she said that she hopped down from the monkey bars and she really looked at him, and it was Dr. Ramsey smiling at her and waving hi. Ew. So she said that she ran to the teacher and told the teacher, and the teacher took her inside right away. So she said that the school had been told obviously all about them. They took her inside right away. She said that same day, her mom had gotten a call from the school office asking her to verify that her dad was picking her up, because supposedly he called and said that he was on his way. Her dad wasn't on his way. Her dad was at another convention. It was him. Yeah. So she said not long after that, she woke up one night super thirsty. She went down to the kitchen for a drink. Sitting alone in the dark was her dad. And she said that on the table, he had a gun. And he was tired of the police waiting until Dr. Ramsey tried something. And he was tired. He was tired of being afraid every time he left work that something would happen to any of them, especially her. She said that she sat with him for a while watching before he sent her back to bed. So she said those events and many more took place over around 18 months. Oh, then suddenly, as it began, she said it was over. She's like, he vanished like from their lives. It's like he fell off the face of the earth. Like nobody knows what happened to him. She said the Dr. Ramsey days, since the Dr. Ramsey days, she has like reoccurring nightmares even as an adult. She said as a child, she would wake up, if she would wake up from nightmares, and she said when she would wake up, she would see like a shadowy figure standing over her, but it was just like she was still dreaming. She had night terrors. Like after that, like none of them could be the same after that. So she said that she found out years later that when he was calling, that guy, Dr. Ramsey, told her parents that he was going to rape and kill her. And then after that, he was going to rape and kill the little sister too. And he went into details on like what he was going to do it, how he was going to do it. Like, so I can't even imagine like as a parent, you know what I mean? Like, what do you do?
I would kill a motherfucker. That's what I would do.
So she was like, I don't know what happened to him. He disappeared. He was in a car wreck. I don't know if he's locked in prison. I don't know if he's in a coma somewhere. If he tried this on somebody else and he's locked up. She was like, but sometimes I wonder if I waited near the end with my dad, sitting with my dad in a dark kitchen, I don't know if my dad saw him, and I don't know what maybe he's done. So she's thinking, she said that she's come up with possibilities that maybe her dad killed him and just didn't say anything. Because in the comments, somebody said, that maybe have you ever asked your dad, like, if he killed him? And she was like, no, and I don't know if I want to know. She was like, but I remember asking my mom, about a little bit about it, and she said that her mom, that the dad told the mom that he set up a meeting with Dr. Ramsey for them to talk. But shortly after that meeting is when like he stopped showing up and he just vanished. So I'm like, you go, Dad.
Yeah, you go, Dad.
But it's like, what are you gonna do? Like, the cops aren't doing anything. Nobody's gonna help you out. Like, you have to protect your family.
Like, how hopeless would you feel? Like,
but I can only imagine
God.
like how exhausted he was. You know, like just sitting there with that gun and probably just like contemplating. Like, I bet you he was sitting there like just thinking about it, like going back and forth on what to do.
Well, yeah, like that's his kid. Like,
he's swimming with the fishes.
Yeah.
Swimming with
So
the
she
fishes.
did say that she is going to write this story, or she's going to write their experience into a book. She just wants to get like all of her family's permissions first. She's going to change the names, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she wants to make it into a story.
That would be a really good book because
insane.
she's giving you like exactly in detail like what was happening, going through her head. Like, oh my
Like, that's just
gosh.
crazy. It baffles me even more because she's 10.
Ugh.
Like, what?
And then I'll go after the little sister. Like,
Like,
what
really?
a sick ass motherfucker.
It's like, I know, like, sometimes the cops, they do that, like, older, you know, like, people, but she's a kid. Like, why wouldn't you take it even more? Like, obviously the kid's not gonna lie to you. Like,
Yeah.
seriously?
Oh, she actually updated this I think like 2 years ago.
Oh, she
A
did?
year ago, she put update. I'm working on bringing this story to a book format. I'm doing it partly because writing about it is proven to be good therapy for me, and partly because I want to help others see that this is about survival, and I want others to know that they're not alone. I'm going around my family and interviewing them to try to fill in the gaps that are in my own memories. She's like, I even interviewed my dad, and I asked him what finally happened to Dr. Ramsey, and that's not going to be revealed until the end of my book.
I
think the dad killed him.
want to read her book.
Too.
I want to get it. I want to read it.
Oh my God.
I need to know.
I need to look it up.
I think he killed. Good job.
Oh, she has a little GoFundMe account.
Donate $1. That's all I got.
$1?
Azala?
$1?
That was such a long story, right?
But that was a good one, though.
It was.
That just
my
makes me
heart-
mad
my
because
heart
she was
hurts.
10 years old and they didn't, like...
Yeah.
Like,
My
I would have
stomach
put,
hurt.
like, a cop, like, outside, like, patrolling. Like, in an unmarked car or something.
Honestly, cops, I don't think they would do that. Like, they'll probably just, like, be like, okay, we can only do this for maybe, like, an hour.
Yeah.
We can,
Yeah.
but they're not going to take their time to, like, unless you hire freaking security guards, you know?
Yeah.
But that's
But like
expensive.
19,
True.
what did you say it was? 76?
76. Back then, obviously, yeah, it was a lot different as well. But
Yeah.
that's insane.
It's just sad. Like, I feel sad for them.
Me too. I'm going to cry.
That was,
I
yeah,
think if-
1978 to 79 when all this
When
happened.
I get my own house, I'm going to booby trap it.
Yeah. Do you know what's so sad too? Is that these are the things that she remembers. So if there's like holes in her memory, like gaps in her memory, I can't even imagine like what the brothers experience, what the little sister experienced.
What if he, like, went and, like, you know, stalked each one of them?
Yeah. To know the routine, I would imagine he was just like camped outside of their house watching every move. And like not only
Who
that,
has time for that?
Like,
Such
don't
a
you have a job?
Oh my
but you know what I can't
God.
get over is when the brother said, I know any second we're going to get a boom boom on the door. And then there was a bang
Boom.
bang on the window. And he's fucking standing there smiling, like laughing, like it was a freaking joke.
Like, hey, you can't catch me.
Yeah.
Try me, bitch.
I would have hid the knife and just...
Fucking shit. Pisses
Ugh.
me off.
I'm already mad. I can't do this right now. I'm gonna walk away.
I
I need a sip of my boba tea.
That's it. Mama, that's it. Drink your
oh my
boba tea.
gosh. Oh no. I can't do that. Ugh. I don't like it. Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Sorry if you hear me chewing the boba.
Oh my god. Okay, so
Just shake it off, Ashley. Shake it off.
it just makes me mad because she's 10 years old.
She's so little and a
Like,
grown ass man stalking her.
ugh.
I made
I
me
don't
mad when
like
he's
that.
like, "You're gonna need a different kind of doctor soon."
Like, you fucking sicko? Like, really?
Motherfucker. I would have been like, you're going to need a colonoscopy,
You know what?
bitch.
I just thank God because I feel like there was like
Stick
no
it up your
cameras or
ass.
anything back then. So he could have easily like snatched her up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But no, it was probably the thrill of just like stalking her and terrorizing the parents and terrorizing her and the siblings that like what he got off of.
on.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Thank you.
Time to get mad
Next.
again.
Okay, so this one's kind of a little bit long, but so this girl, it was her first year at college. Doesn't say what college she goes to, but it was her first year, and she was living in the dorms. And the dorms, this is important. So you had to have a key card to even get into the dorm room, and then that same key card for each and every floor. So even if like you lived in the same building, but you were on the 3rd or 4th floor, you couldn't get access to the other floors without a key card. Okay. So that's important. Remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So she played sports and she had injured herself. Right. So she couldn't go to like any parties or like anything like that. And she really loved like Halloween. And so she decided like, okay, I can't go to any parties and stuff because I think something was injured in like her body. So she ended up helping some of her friends like with their costumes and their makeup and stuff. And she finished with one of her friends. So she was on her way back to her room in her dorm room. And there was a guy that popped up like right outside her dorm before she was about to get in. And he introduced himself. She's like, we chatted for a little bit. He was kind of funny. And then we exchanged email addresses. She's like, then I'm going up to my room and we said goodnight. And he kind of starts like walking behind her. So she just thinks like, okay, maybe he's visiting somebody, or something here. But he follows her like all the way kind of up to her room. And she says she felt uneasy about it and didn't know like what to do. And so she kind of tried to like nonchalantly tell him like, okay, like good night. I'm going to go to my room now. Like, bye. But he tried to actually follow her into her room. Like she was about to do like the key card and he was like right behind her, like kind of like pushing up against her to get into the room. And so she finally said like, hey, like you need to leave like right now. You need to go because I'm going into my room. So she kind of brushed it off at first and thought like, okay, maybe he's just drunk. Like it's Halloween. Like he's just drunk. So before she went to bed, she checked her emails. By the time she got into her room, put down all her stuff, she watched a movie. And before she was going to, so maybe like 2 hours, she had 5 emails from this guy already telling her, I'm so glad that we're friends. I'm so glad I met you. And then asking her, hey, why aren't you online? Why aren't you online? Like he kept emailing her like within that night. So then she says a few days later, she gets a knock on her door and she opens it and it's him. And she at first is like creeped out because she's like, how the hell did you even get up here? Like you can't get up here without a key card. So she like politely tells him like, oh, like, I'm sorry. Like I'm studying. I need to like, be by myself. So the next day he stayed at her door again. Like he was like outside her door knocking on the door. She didn't answer it. Then 2 days later, she gets a call from like one of the residence hall people. And they tell her like, hey, don't come to your room because this guy's been camping out in front of your room for like 2-3 hours. Like he was just sitting there outside her dorm room door, just sitting there. So she goes over to another friend's dorm room and she spends the nights there. That way, like, she doesn't go or anything like that. So then her roommate comes home. They're both there. This was like a couple days later. And she tells her roommate, like, do not open the door if you see this guy. Like, he's like creepy. He's been emailing me. Like, don't talk to him. Don't let him in. Like nothing. If he says we're friends, we're not. Like, I don't know him at all. So she's like, okay. So at this point, she's starting to get freaked out, right? Because she's getting more emails from him. And she wasn't online and she wasn't responding to his emails. So he kept asking her, like, why aren't you responding to me? I thought we were friends. Like, what's going on? Like, blah, blah, blah. We had a really nice talk. We were like, getting to know each other. So he's being like really creepy. So she's freaked out. And she didn't tell anybody about it except for her roommate and a couple of like the RA people in there in the hallway. So she wasn't paying attention one day until one of her friends that was walking with her mentioned that he was following her to her classes. Like each and every class he was following her. He followed her to the cafeteria. And he was always trying to follow her home and get access into the building. So he would like wait for other people too to like get in there, and then he would wait at her floor to see if anybody else would like get access in there so that he could go behind and get in there.
So annoying.
Yeah. So then after about like, I think she said maybe like 2.5 weeks of that going on, he started calling her, and she never gave him her phone number or nothing like that. So she doesn't know how in the world he got her phone number. And at first it would be like maybe 1 or 2 calls a day. Then until finally she answered and told him like, leave me alone. We're not friends anymore. Like, don't talk to me, like anything like that. But the only problem was her phone. It doesn't say when this was, but she didn't have a caller ID, and he would call from like a private like number. So she couldn't even call it back or give the phone number to like anybody. So, she was waiting for a call for a part-time job. And she answered the phone, and he was just like telling her like all these creepy things. Like, I want to hang out with you. Like, why won't you hang out with me? You're being mean. You need to be nice to me. And like just telling her like how pretty she was, and that he just wants to get to know her, like all on the phone. Like she would like answer it, right? So she was starting to get really, really freaked out about this. So then she went back to the RA person that lives in the dorm room and was like telling her, what do we do? Like, we need to do something because this guy is like not leaving me alone. He's calling me. He's following me to class. Like, is there anything the school can do, that the dorm rooms can do? Like anything like that. And basically they told her like, no, like there's really nothing that we can do. And then she started feeling really awful because then he started following her roommate and asking the roommate, like, where is she? Why isn't she calling me? Like, why not this? And he started calling the roommate. How he got the roommate's phone number, I have no idea. But he was basically like trying to go through the roommate to get to her. So she felt bad because she was putting her roommate, you know, like through all of this. So she doesn't know what happened, but she said that I think it was like either one of, not the RAs, but like, because in college there's like the RAs, and then there's like what is it called, like the head of like the dorm rooms, or like the room and board person, like the higher up person. Mm-hmm. So she doesn't know what happened, but apparently the RA told her like, hey, that person or whatever talked to the guy. So she doesn't know what happened behind the closed doors, like after they talked to him. But he was told to apparently leave her alone, and that if he made any further contact with her, that he would be kicked out of the dorms and then eventually kicked out of the entire school. So someone in there was like on her side and was like helping her. Mm-hmm. But there was this one last email that he sent to her that was basically telling her how awful she was. How could she do this to him? They were so happy together, that how could she cheat on him with other men? And like, why would she do that? And that she's just an awful person, and that he'll never forget this, and like blah, blah, blah. But that after that, like he left her alone. So she would still see him around campus. But every single time like she would see him or he would see her, he would kind of like walk like the other way or go somewhere else. But she would always still kind of catch him like staring at her like every now and then. But after that, he never tried to approach her, or never again like emailed her or called her or tried to get her attention. But he would just like stare at her from like afar. So he was still there.
How do these people think that's okay?
Yeah.
They're sick.
Delusional.
Literally sick.
Yeah.
I was like, why would you think that you were like in a relationship with her? Like after one conversation. It wasn't even like a whole long conversation. Just a quick like, oh, hey, like blah, blah, blah. Okay, bye.
Yeah. Some people you give that never get attention. You give them a little bit and they run with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, holy shit. I was like, that's scary. And it I don't know where she went to college at, but like my school that I went to, like even though there was like lampposts on campus, it's very dark. Like when you're walking at night, like by yourself. And sometimes like the campus is spread out. So even if you go from like one side to like your dorm room, you're walking like by yourself.
Yeah.
Like at night. I took like one night class, and after that I was like, I'm done. I was like, I'm taking them during the day. I was like, I don't like this. This is creepy.
Yeah.
Because you have to walk home by yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because my class was like 6 to 8 o'clock. And then so by 8 o'clock, it was already like dark. And I was like, this is creepy because there's nobody on campus like around that time. So I was like, ooh. Okay. I have one more. It's called the Subway Stalker. And this one's even, I think this one's even creepier. So she was a 20-year-old girl, and she was working at Subway. And it was about like a year into her working there, and there was a guy that would come in. He was a regular, like every day for lunch. And he was like maybe 35 or 40 years old. And that he would come in and say how fascinated he was by her. She had like gauges in her ears, and she had tattoos. And so he was like all fascinated like with her ears and her piercings and her tattoos. And he would ask her questions about it. Like, did it hurt? Like, you know, when you stretch your ears. So she just thought he was making conversation, you know, while they were eating, while he was getting his lunch. And so he would sit down after she like ring him out and all that kind of stuff. And he would sit there just staring at her for 2 hours. So he'd eat his lunch, but he's staring at her and just watching her work for like 2 hours after that. She didn't think anything of it. She was just like, oh, he's just a creepy regular. Like, you know, like whatever. Well, about 2 weeks go by, and then she's in the store by herself because her manager had to leave to the bank real quick. So she's by herself and the phone rings. She answers it. And then the guy says, is this the girl with the nice ears with the piercings? And she's like, yeah, like, okay, who's this? And it's the guy, right? And so he tells her, are you alone in the back room right now? Are you working by yourself? So she freaks out and she hangs up the phone, calls her manager and tells her like, hey, you need to hurry back because this guy is like calling me and like, blah, blah, I'm by myself. Well, he called again after that, and she would answer it. And then every single time he would ask her like weird questions, like if she had a boyfriend, why are you playing so hard to get? Like, I've been watching you, or like things like that. And then he would ask like what she would do to him if he was there right now in the back room with her.
Ew.
And like all on the phone.
Chop your dick off?
Yeah.
Damn.
So the manager comes back. She tells her like everything. And so she's like, okay, so next time the manager's like, he does this again, like we're going to call the cops. Like, you know, you shouldn't be going through this. So he calls again in the middle of their lunch rush, right? But the manager answers it instead of her. And so she doesn't know what he told her, but the look on her face, her manager's face, kind of like made the girl like shiver, like, oh shit, like what did he tell her? So she said that the manager like slammed the phone down and immediately like called the cops like after that. But she doesn't know like what he told her, and the manager didn't want to tell her like what he said. So a week later, the cops come, right, and they take a report and all that kind of stuff, but then that was pretty much the end of it. So like a week later, she's clocking out and she's getting ready to walk to her car. Well, she sees the guy standing by her car, and she realizes that she left her back door unlocked. So she's watching him from like afar, and he doesn't see her, but she sees him climb into her back seat and wait there. So she's like pretending to act like she's leaving, but telling her manager, like, he just climbed into my car, call the cops. He's there right now. So the manager gets the phone, calls the cops. They come, they find him hiding in the back seat. And they find him with a rope, a butcher knife, and a rag with chloroform on it.
Oh my God.
What the hell?
Yes. So she was like that. She was very lucky because she was like, if I hadn't looked up and looked out the window when I did, she's like, I would have like went to my car and I could have been dead right now. And I was like, holy shit. Like she saw him climb into the car, like with all of that. Ugh. I don't like that. Yeah.
I have no words.
And he was like an old man, and he came in like all the time, every single day, and then just like got infatuated with her.
Motherfucker. Lock your cars, lady.
Yes.
Lock your
Always make sure your
cars.
car's locked. I lock mine like twice. I hear the beep beep, and I'm like, okay, good.
I do it like 4 times.
Yeah.
That's so scary.
Yep.
I can't.
I got chills from that story.
A butcher knife?
A butcher knife.
Rope and chloroform.
Oh my God. Hell no.
So that means like he stalked her and waited for like the perfect opportunity to do that.
Mm-hmm. Like he knew.
Imagine
he might have
if
known
she
her
would've
shift.
been late coming out, like even a few minutes late.
Or if her manager wasn't there that night just by herself, if she was completely by herself. Mm-mm. See, that's why I don't. No.
Scary, yo.
You know what, too? Like, I remember, like, working in the mall and when I was a manager, and there was some nights where we had to cut hours, and, like, our closing person had to leave before the store was closed. So I would have to close by myself, and, like, that was my deepest fear. Like, that somebody was just, like, watching me and knew I was by myself, and, like, especially because the malls were closed, the way we had to leave was through the back of the mall, like through that long alley hallway to the car, and like it was super dark all the time. Like,
hell no!
I always had to like either have my mom on the phone or like Tim on the phone with me when I was like working there. Hated it.
Oh no! There was one that I had read where she had a stalker. And he would follow her to class and like all that kind of stuff, but he would never approach her if she was like with a friend or like a group of friends. So I'm like, travel in packs. Travel in
like
packs.
wolves.
Like wolves, yeah.
Oh Lord. All right, guys. Let's see. Let's start with my first story. I got this one from Reddit. Username is Silence Hacker.
Ooh.
So it says, I'm a Twitch streamer and I have a crazed stalker. I've been a Twitch streamer ever since my YouTube channel got permanently suspended after some questionable decisions I've made. Despite this, my loyal fans still follow me wherever I go on the digital landscape we call the internet. Especially this one obsessed fan I've recently received numerous emails from. Usually, I'll just ignore them, but the emails have started to become a little strange, to say the least. The first couple, 2 or 3 emails were innocent fan messages about my gaming skills and little inside jokes I have with my audience. But the next one was a little more than just an inside joke. So I'm going to read the first email. Why don't you respond to my messages? I love the game Doom Eternal, and I think you should try it on stream sometime if you haven't already. Even though I know you mostly play multiple player video games, I just love watching your streams, and I love the brown reclining chair you have in your living room.
Oh.
So weird, right? It says, now obviously I thought this was a troll email from a fan who just desperately wanted my attention, so I ignored it. But then the emails got more specific. The next one said, are you still ignoring me? I was wondering if you were willing to let me come over to hang out. We could do a 24-hour stream together. I'll come over on the 24th, so be ready for me, Alex.
Ooh.
This email was the one that told me something was up. He knew me by my middle name. My middle name. I've never shared that information with anybody, though I figured it wouldn't be hard for someone to find out my full name if they did enough research. I figured he or she was just trying to grab my attention again. A part of me was really tense about the date he chose to tell me about, the 24th, because that's my birthday. I've never told my audience about it because I wanted it to be a surprise when I announced how old I was turning. The day of my birthday came around. I was sitting on stream with my chat watching a YouTube video and I heard a knock on my door. When I went downstairs to open the door, I saw a beautifully wrapped gift with the words, "Happy birthday from your biggest fan." After I got the gift, I immediately went back to my room and I closed the stream. I was so scared I didn't even open the gift. I was literally shaking. I put out my phone and called the police. When they came to investigate, they just took my name and didn't do anything else. They just told me, if it comes around again, just give us another call. I gave myself a moment to calm down, and then I made a tweet addressing my problem, and I told my fans I'd have to quit streaming for a while until this was solved. Now, this was edited like a couple days later, and it said, Hey y'all, Epic Gamer 26 girlfriend speaking. Since the night of his birthday, he's gone missing. If anyone has any information, please contact the appropriate authorities. I just want my boyfriend back.
No.
He went missing.
Oh,
Shut up.
Shit.
Mhm.
What the hell?
Give me chills.
I wasn't expecting that.
Mm-hmm. So they have...
Oh, now I want to look him up on Twitch.
You should look.
I'm gonna
What
look
the
him up on Twitch.
hell? Really?
So his gamer tag, it was Epic Gamer 26. But, yeah. I wonder if it's real. or if it's just a Redditor.
Wait, was it his actual girlfriend or was it like...
It just says Epic Gamer's girlfriend speaking. So maybe he had a girlfriend and...
What the fuck?
I don't know. This is kind of weird. Are you looking it up?
I don't have a Twitch, so I can't look it up.
My eye twitches sometimes. Just kidding.
Oh my god.
Is it real? Oh shit. The eye.
I mean, there's one on here, but how long ago was that done?
Oh, let me look at the Reddit. 178 days ago. How much?
Oh, so it's recent.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
There's one on here, but it says the last live was 5 months ago. I got chills.
Stop.
No.
And he has nothing on here. Like, there's no content. There's no about. Like, there's nothing on here. Because when you go live on Twitch, like I believe what Tim told me is that live stream stays on for so long and then it gets deleted.
Okay.
And to keep up with the content, you go live and the video stays there and eventually deletes after so many days. So there's nothing on here and there hasn't been any activity since 5 months ago.
And that's about 100 and something days, right?
I got chills.
Oh my god. You guys. Oh my god. He's missing.
Oh, damn.
Damn.
He looks pretty young too.
Poor baby.
Well, if anybody has any information
on
Yeah.
Epic Gamer 26. That's his name.
Yeah,
right?
make sure you
Epic
call
Gamer.
the authorities.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
I got the chills.
Me too. I thought Reddit is unpredictable. It's either fake or real, but I guess he really was seeking for help on Reddit. And his girlfriend edited it.
Wow. I have
Oh
no
my
words.
god. Ay Dios. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, maybe it's a fake account. And I mean, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Still, do
True.
you have any information?
Next, I'm going to do celebrity stalkers.
Celebrities.
We're going to start off strong with Jennifer Lopez's stalker, who actually lived in her pool house undisturbed for 6 days and posted creepy pictures of his stay online.
Ooh.
So, this guy's name is, let's see, John Dubis. I don't know how to say his name. So he's an obsessed stalker who allegedly managed to live in Jennifer Lopez's pool house for 6 days without being noticed. Posted creepy pictures from inside the grounds online, as he ranted about being married to her. So online he was posting like, I love my wife, me and J-Lo forever. And then he even went and he carved like their initials like on a tree branch. He posted pictures of him holding a box of chocolates on his mouth. And he was like, let me read it. Hold on. What he said. It said something about something like, oh, J-Lo always sending me gifts, but it was like a little raggedy ass box of chocolates.
Ew.
So anyway, he was there in the pool house and he would take pictures and post them and like put them online. And then people were asking him, like the neighbors, like, who are you? And he would just be like, oh, I'm like a security guard just while J-Lo's away. So the thing that's creepy is he was actually living there for 6 whole days before they figured out that he was in her pool house sleeping on the couch.
Oh my god.
So she was on tour, so she wasn't there, thank God. But, that was J-Lo's. Now we're going to go into some other stalkers, and this is from scaryforkids.com. I love that
That's
website
your
so
favorite
much.
website.
So this one is about Rebecca Schaefer and Robert John Bardo. So in 1986, Rebecca Schaefer was a pretty young actress who appeared in the TV sitcom My Sister Sam. 19-year-old Robert Bardo became obsessed with her. He built a shrine to her in his bedroom and sent her numerous letters. He even hired a detective to find out her address. When he saw her in a love scene in one of her movies, he became enraged. He believed she was losing her innocence. And then that she needed to be punished. So he went to her house, rang the doorbell. When Rebecca came to the door, he told her he was her biggest fan. She signed an autograph to try to get him to leave, but he pulled out a gun and told her he was there to rescue her. Then he shot her in the chest and ran off. Her neighbor called an ambulance, but sadly, by the time she reached the hospital, Rebecca was dead. Bardo was arrested and the next day and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. So he went in and killed her. Yep.
Oh my God.
Number 2, John Lennon and Mark Chapman.
Oh.
Mark David Chapman was an obsessed fan of the Beatles. He was especially obsessed with John Lennon. In 1980, he hung around the outside of the Dakota Building in New York, where John Lennon and Yoko Ono lived. When John Lennon was leaving the building, Chapman approached him and got him to sign a copy of his album. Later, when John Lennon came back to the building, Chapman pulled out a gun and shot Lennon 4 times, killing him. He remained at the scene reading The Catcher in the Rye and told the police that the novel was his statement. He pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 20 years to life in prison.
I did not know he sat there reading Catcher in the Rye. Really?
So he wanted to get caught.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes. This one we all know. You're from Texas, you know. Selena and Yolanda. In 1992, Selena was a well-known and much-loved Latin American pop singer. They called her the Mexican Madonna. Yolanda Saldivar was an obsessed fan of Selena who set up a fan club for her. But in 1995, Selena learned that Saldivar was stealing money from her fan club and fired her. A few weeks later, Selena agreed to meet with Saldivar in a motel room to discuss things. During the meeting, Saldivar pulled out a gun and shot the singer in the chest. Selena managed to escape and she ran to a nearby hotel lobby where she collapsed. Before she died of her injuries, Selena managed to name her killer. After a 9-hour standoff with the police, Yolanda eventually gave herself up and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. So we all know this story. I mean, it made the list. So
yeah. And we work, me and Gado work with somebody who actually worked with Yolanda.
Yeah.
Because Yolanda
was
a
an
nurse.
RN.
Yeah, she was a nurse at University Hospital.
So the thing that makes me so mad is that Yolanda states that she was showing Selena the gun and that the door accidentally hit her hand and she
it
shot.
went off.
Yeah,
but
I heard that
if
one.
you're an RN, people were saying that they heard her like screaming like, "Come back, you bitch!" like to Selena. If you're an RN, you're gonna be trying to save her life.
Yeah.
She did none of that. So
And
just makes me so
our
mad.
coworker did say that she was always talking about Selena. Like she was always like, yeah, Selena this, Selena that. Yeah, I'm gonna leave to go work with her and like all this stuff. Like constantly always
see y'all
talking
later.
about her.
Like,
and she said that while she was working with her, stuff or like money was always going missing from like people's purses and lockers.
she would steal
And after
money.
she left, the stealing stopped.
Oh my
This
God.
hoe.
Yeah.
This stupid asshole. Sorry.
It's just crazy.
She makes me so mad.
And then she was like, and then like a few like months later, or however long it was, I see her on the news that she killed Selena.
It's so
Imagine
scary.
like,
Okay. Number 4. Well, I'm just going to read the ones that I know, kind of. So this is Jody Foster and John Hineke. After watching Taxi Driver, John Hineke became obsessed with Jody Foster, who was only 15 at the time. When she was going to Yale, he enrolled as a student in the university so he could stalk her and slipped poems and messages under her door. To show her how much he loved her, he tried to assassinate President Ronald Reagan in 1981. He managed to shoot Reagan in the chest, but luckily the president didn't die from his wounds and made a complete recovery. After that, I cannot say his name. Hineke was confined to a mental hospital where he remains to this day. So he's in a mental hospital. Jody Foster. Let's see. Oh, this one is scary. Teresa, Saldana, and Arthur Jackson. In 1982, 27-year-old Teresa Saldana was a beautiful upcoming actress. She had an obsessed fan named Arthur Jackson, a 47-year-old drifter from Scotland who had traveled all the way across the globe to meet her. Jackson's plan was to find Saldana, kill her, and then join her in the afterlife after he was executed for her murder. He hired a private detective to find the phone number of Saldana's mother. Then he called her and pretended he was trying to contact Teresa about a movie role. Saldana's mother gave him her daughter's address, and Jackson went to her house and waited outside. When Teresa came out, Jackson stabbed her 10 times with a hunting knife. Luckily, a delivery man named Jeffrey Fenn happened to be passing by and heard the commotion. He rushed to her rescue and subdued Jackson. Saldana made a full recovery, and Jackson was given a 12-year sentence.
What?
12 years?
12-year sentence.
Why? Because he didn't kill her?
Yes.
What the fuck?
Motherfucker.
Oh, that makes me mad. That doesn't make sense.
I know, dude. These just keep getting creepier and creepier. So this is, I can never say this artist's name, Bjork. Bjork. Bjork.
Yeah,
Bjork and Ricardo. The Icelandic singer Bjork had an obsessed and deranged fan named Ricardo. He made videos in which he ranted about Bjork, sent Bjork a booby-trapped book in the mail. His plan was that when Bjork opened the book, a small bomb would would go off.
Detonate.
I don't know how to say it. So the small bomb would go off, spraying acid on her face, which would burn it off permanently and disfigure her. He said he wanted to be the one person who changed her life the most. So after he mailed the package, he made a video in which he took off his clothes, shaved his head, and painted himself red, green, and black. Then, while one of Bjork's songs played in the background, he committed suicide by shooting himself in the mouth. Thankfully, his plan didn't succeed, and the parcel bomb was intercepted in the mail before it reached Bjork. So it didn't reach her, which is good.
Dude.
I'm only going to read one more, and this one is kind of creepy. So 2 criminals, one named Mark Stock and one named Tanner Ronnie, planned to kill Justin Bieber. They wanted to track him down, chop off his private parts with garden shears. They wanted to give Bieber's boy bits to their buddy as a souvenir. So their buddy was doing a life term in prison for the murder and rape of a 15-year-old girl. So when the police found out about their plot, they were arrested, but they were really gonna try to mail his dick and balls too.
But like, was
this when he first came out, when he was like 10 years old?
When he was young.
Oh my God.
But was like the guy a fan, or like, that's just weird?
Maybe he
did
was
they
obsessed
randomly
with
pick
him.
Bieber?
No, he was obsessed with him.
The guy in prison was obsessed with
Justin Bieber. So
okay.
they wanted to gift him the dick and balls as a gift.
Baby Justin, 10-year-old Justin. Right? That's how old he was, right?
He was like 13.
13, yeah. Still,
But
he's
that's
a
so
baby.
specific. Like, specifically want to cut off your private parts with garden shears.
Yes, with garden
Like,
shears.
what the
That's so
fuck?
horrible.
Okay, I'm gonna read one more. I forgot. This is the one that really freaked me out. This is Paula Abdul's story. So Paula Abdul had a stalker named Sandra Goodspeed who appeared as a contestant on American Idol. So she would like literally try out all the time just so she could see Paula Abdul. She became so obsessed with Paula that she sent her more than 100 letters, called her numerous times, and then on the phone calls, and made an uninvited visits to her house. So she would just show up at Paula's house. I don't even understand how they get their addresses, dude.
I don't understand that either.
It says she even got her name legally changed to Paula. So eventually she committed suicide outside of Paula Abdul's house by taking a bunch of drugs. So she just killed herself in front of Paula Abdul's house.
Like, how do you find the addresses to these stars' houses? Like, they're so hidden. Like, how do you find that?
I think that's what's so scary too about becoming famous like that, is that you're exposing yourself to deranged people that are just like become obsessed. Like the one that always makes me sad too is like Christina Grimmie. Christina Grimmie. He was like obsessed with her, and he showed up to one of her concerts, shot her, and was gonna kill himself, but her brother jumped on top of him and stopped him. Right? He's jumped on top of him and stopped him from killing himself.
I think so.
I thought that's what happened because he's in prison, isn't he?
I thought he was.
Ugh.
That's sad. Like, it's
That's
just
real
so
sad.
It's just sad. Like, these people become famous and people think that they live the best life, but
Yeah.
It's scary. Because then people think like they have the right to your life. Like, just because you're famous.
That's scary. Oh, that's scary. Oh,
I don't like that. People are scary.
They're not all safe.
Uh-uh.
They can have as many bodyguards and security, but you never know, right?
It's scary. And we were actually talking about this earlier, that there's different types of stalkers. So there's some psychiatrists, they develop several stalker profiles. And guys, this is like online on WebMD. This is like on Psychology of Stalking. Like, it's crazy.
It is in psychology books. I know that for sure.
It is in psychology books. But, you know, if you don't know, this is like a diagnosis.
Yeah.
So like you can be diagnosed with,
it's like obsessive disorder, or compulsive obsessive disorder, or something like that.
It's related to that, right?
Yeah.
So there's different types of stalking. So there's the rejected stalker. This person was rejected in a relationship that they perceived it as an insult, and they feel wounded, and they are seeking vindication for it. The resentful stalker. These are self-righteous, self-pitying people who may threaten, but they are least likely to act on it. And then there's the intimacy-seeking stalker. They believe that they are loved or will be loved by the victim. Often, they focus on somebody of higher social status. This is a person that is mentally ill or delusional. So these are all those stalkers that were obsessed with those stars.
Yeah. The incompetent stalker is a person who's socially backwards. They don't really understand social rules involved in dating and romance, and they don't mean any harm. So these are the ones that like won't necessarily like act on things, right?
No, they're just like obsessed.
They just like, I think those are the ones that make like shrines and stuff like that, probably.
Like Helga from Hey Arnold?
Or maybe like the college one you were saying
The
about.
college one,
that
yeah.
guy, he was just like obsessed with her.
Like, he
and
was just
like
staring
wanted
at her.
to go out with her. And
yeah. And then the predator one. This one's about sex and like gratification, control, violence. These are the stalkers that don't necessarily know the victims. The victims may not know that they're being stalked, but a predator plans their attack, rehearses it, has lots of sexual fantasies about it as well. So these are the people that will act on it and actually do something.
this was that sick fuck Dr. Ramsey.
Yes, that's him. That's like 100% him.
Disgusting.
Oh my God, that's so crazy. Like, I just, why did I have to have a daughter? Like, why?
Even girl,
even the boys too.
Boys aren't safe either. Nobody's safe. Like,
that's like,
there's gonna be stalkers everywhere.
I had I didn't like read the full story, but the one that I read a little bit, it was the boy had an ex-girlfriend who was like psycho crazy, and he got a new girlfriend, and she was like call her and stalk the new girlfriend and like tell her like, that's my boyfriend, like, why are you with him? He's with me. I'm the love of his life. So they eventually broke up, but then years later he got married, right? Or like engaged to somebody. So then here comes that ex-girlfriend like crazy stalking the girl, and she actually like stabbed her with a fork.
With a fork?
With a fork.
Stupid dumb
Yeah,
fork.
like she didn't die or anything like that, but she stabbed her with a fork. Like, I think they arrested her or something. But
so they actually even posted like red flags. So like when you immediately meet a person, you start getting like several phone calls or emails right after meeting them. Obviously, like there's something wrong with their head.
Yeah.
And then there's another one. That's another red flag, is that the person is clingy, controlling, or upset if you want to spend time with friends or family. And like, I feel like this can also go for like boyfriends too.
Yeah.
I had an ex-boyfriend who was like that. Like, he like completely isolated me from my friends, and like I was always fighting with my family because of him. I wasn't allowed to have a boyfriend at the time, and like I was just like brainwashed. And I wouldn't really necessarily say he was a stalker, but I will say, and I feel like this is very ballsy of him, is that my parents, after like I got over this phase in my life, my mom and my dad told me that he would purposely pass by the house when my dad was outside and just smirk at my dad like, what are you gonna do?
Oh.
And I had no idea. Like, my my parents told me that they saw him passing by the house, but I had no idea that every time my dad was outside, he would like purposely look at my dad like, I'm here, what are you gonna do? Like, just like,
I bet
pass
your
by
dad
and
wanted
like
to
smirk.
just beat the shit out of him.
I'm sure he did, but like, yeah, like there's it's just horrible. And then they say make sure you tell somebody what's going on. Don't keep it to yourself. Like, you need to tell someone or tell everyone, tell your employer, tell your friends, tell your family. Don't feel embarrassed. Don't feel like it's in your head. Don't feel like you're crazy. Like, you need to tell somebody, because if something does happen, somebody has to know somewhat of what was going on.
Yeah.
Gently, and they say gently but firmly tell the person you decided to move on. Don't get drawn into discussions of why. Just say the situation isn't right for me, or I'm not ready yet. Whatever you need to say, but just gently do it. Don't jump in it. Don't be aggressive, because
don't make them mad.
At this point, it can end badly. And then they say, you know, if this doesn't work, obviously take legal action and make a report and do what you got to do.
Because sometimes if you get like aggressive, that's like, what do they say? Like, they like to get a rise out of you or something like that.
But so according to the Stalking Resource Center, 7.5 million people deal with stalking every year. 370,000 men are stalked annually, so that's 1 in 45 men. More than 1 million women are stalked every year. That's about 1 in every 12 women that will be stalked in their lifetime. This is how many individuals who have experienced stalking victimization at some point during their lifetime, in which they felt very fearful or believed that they or someone close to them would harm or kill them. If you or someone needs help, please check out the Stalking Resource Center website. And if you need immediate assistance, the Victim Connect Helpline provides information and referrals for victims of all crimes, and they can be reached at 855-4-VICTIM or 855-484-2846. Also go to your local police, call 911, make sure you tell your family what's going on.
Yeah.
Tell somebody you're not crazy. Like, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
This is scary. It's a scary world.
Yes, it is.
And we love you guys, and we want you guys to be safe. So that's why we decided to give that information out.
Yes, ma'am.
This is a very heavy, scary episode.
Yeah. Scary and
Scary
the other kind
one.
of scary.
Scary,
Yeah.
like
Real life scary.
like real people, alive, scary people. Like, not ghosts, demons, like not things I can open up my Bible and say a prayer and they'll go away. Like, this is like people that
Like,
won't go
real.
away. Like,
Ugh. It's just freaky.
it is.
That's why I don't like going to a whole bunch of like crowded places. That's why I don't like people.
Yeah.
I don't like to
stay
go
away.
anywhere. Like, I don't like to take Sabrina anywhere. I don't like to take Jason, like, especially Jason. Like, now I'm a mom of 2, and like, I just want to keep them home. Like,
Yeah.
if I have to go somewhere, I'm like, Tim, can you stay with the kids? Or like, if Tim's at work, I'm like, Mom, can I drop? Like, I will literally call my mom and be like, hey, can I drop the kids off with you so I can go to the store? I don't trust myself. Not that I don't trust myself. I don't trust other people around me when I'm with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, because
It's
kids are
scary.
so innocent too. Like,
Ugh.
I mean, not that they don't know, but they don't know. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's like,
And
they don't.
a lot of people prey on
Young
like
kids.
the elderly that are with their grandkids, or like single moms. Like, I have a lot of friends that are single moms, and I just, you know, when they say that they're at the store, I'm like, be careful, call me if you need me. Do you want me to go with you? Like, it's just scary. The world is just a scary, crazy place. But just everybody stay safe.
Be careful. Watch your surroundings.
Yes.
Definitely.
Always tell somebody.
Where you're going.
Even if you feel like you can't talk to your friends or your family, like, you can always talk to us. You can email us, send us messages on Facebook. Like,
It's a no judgment.
no judgment zone, but don't send nudes.
Please.
That's always a rule. Don't send
Don't
nudes.
send nudes.
Thank you.
Oh, God.
But really, if y'all feel like y'all can't go to anybody, you can always come to us. We have a lot of listeners that have emailed us about certain things going on in their life. And our doors always, our emails and messages are always open to you guys.
And there's 3 of us, so
And there's
one of us is level-headed.
Yes. And Nick and Tim are our bodyguards.
Yes.
And Drew.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Drew's our big bodyguard.
Yeah.
Can knock you out. But Yeah, so like we said, just make sure you stay safe. And until next time, remember to always